Fala galera, eu sou Igor Miranda e hoje o papo é com Gavin Rossdale, vocalista e guitarrista do Bush. A banda dele acaba de lançar um novo álbum, o The Art of Survival, e a gente pôde falar sobre esse disco, pôde falar sobre a relação da banda com o Brasil, sobre o atual momento da banda, entre outros assuntos mais aí. Antes, só um pequeno recado. Por conta de um problema técnico que a gente teve na gravação, o comecinho da entrevista foi perdido. Eu vou tentar resumir aqui rapidamente o que ele falou nesse comecinho de entrevista, que são perguntas um pouco mais para quebrar o gelo mesmo. Eu havia perguntado a ele inicialmente sobre a temática desse novo disco, né, que é um disco visivelmente muito inspirado aí pelos acontecimentos da pandemia. O Bush tinha lançado inclusive um novo trabalho, The Kingdom, durante o período de pandemia, já estava com esse trabalho pronto, provavelmente desde antes do período de isolamento, né? Então eu perguntei a ele sobre a temática dessas letras. Ele basicamente me disse que é um trabalho que busca refletir sobre os desafios que a gente enfrentou no período de pandemia e dos que ainda virão no pós-pandemia, mas que no geral é um trabalho um pouco mais esperançoso, com letras um pouco mais reflexivas sobre a parte positiva de quem sobreviveu a tudo isso, né? Tanto é que o disco se chama a Arte da Sobrevivência, né? Numa tradução grosseira aí para o português. A gente também falou sobre o fato de ele ter lançado The Kingdom em 2020 e não ter tido a oportunidade de ter feito turnê para divulgar esse trabalho. Ele disse que por mais que as músicas possam soar um pouco envelhecidas para ele, que trabalhou nessas músicas já há algum tempo, já lançou, já foi pro mundo já há algum tempo, esse trabalho saiu no meio de 2020, ainda assim é um trabalho que está soando fresco para os fãs, isso na visão dele, é claro. Ele disse que tem tocado essas músicas do The Kingdom nos shows que foram realizados recentemente no torneio com Alice in Chains e com Breaking Benjamin, e que sentiu que a reação do público tem sido muito satisfatória e uma reação também de pessoas que não escutaram o trabalho e estão escutando agora pela primeira vez durante os shows. A partir daí a gente já conduz a entrevista para outros temas e espero que vocês gostem do material, apesar desse pequeno probleminha que a gente teve aí no início da gravação. Se liga! To the Art of Survival and the layers I've mentioned. The first track, Heavy is the Ocean, is very clear about these different layers, and it's the longest track of the album. Not every band puts the longest track as the first one, but I really like the choice, and I like the song, of course. You said before that this track helped to find the aesthetic of the record, but how was the writing process for this song?
For this song was a pure experimentation, because I got my little studio set up with great sounds. I could sit in there and I could immerse myself. I used to always do it traditionally with engineers, you know, and so in the room they'd have to sit there for 3 minutes or 3 hours until I think of an idea. And this was like my own private space. And I just remember finding that music and just losing myself in it, you know, play that riff and just be like, yeah, with the drums, and just like, oh my God, this is massive. It's like being a big wave surfer or something. And you know, I was so happy when I thought about Heavy as the Ocean, because it really set the record up, but lyrically as well. And it's funny because The Art of Survival, it starts with Heavy as the Ocean, and it nearly looks like I'm clever. I'm not that clever. It just sort of happened like that. You know, the title, and then the opening to the title. Here's the introduction. You know, it worked out even better than I realized, and so that's it. I think that if you're tracing something real and true and honest, there's lots of great ricochets that are so cool from that. You know. And by the same token, if you lie and if you're not, you know, a genuine approach to what you do, it's endless traffic jams, you know. And this is not a traffic jam. This is like a metropolis going everywhere, just trying to kind of live in this time. And you know, I'm a very grateful person. You know, this is an incredible life. You know, I'm staying in a nice hotel. I can order anything I want and talk about the record I made. And it's great. I'm so lucky, you know what I mean? Sometimes I see people, so many homeless people in LA where I live. And I see them and I'm so intrigued, like what happened? What happened? All these different roads that take them to living under a bridge. And I'm just happy that I managed to escape that, you know, because life is so hard and challenging, and it's such a privilege to you know, play to 500,000 people this year. So it's a lot of people, you know. If you're in Sepultura, it's like 3 shows, but you know, for me, it's a lot of shows.
Yeah. And since you mentioned you feel that you have this privilege of being a rock band, being a successful rock band, let's go back in time a little bit to talk about Bush's 30th anniversary. Not every band lasts 30 years. So when you look back on creating Bush, recording the 16 Stone album, achieving success already with the first record, how do you feel about this crazy ride, you can say, so far?
I'm very, very lucky. You know, I've had a lot of great people to help me, and there's times when I've, you know, won the match, and times where I've lost the match. You know, and to be successful is to withstand 1,000 deaths and 1,000 enemies. You know, and it's not easy, but at the same time, I think that there's been such incredible support for us at the shows that we play, wherever we play. You know, we've been very lucky, and it's only because the people want us that we stay. It's not even my decision. I'm just lucky. It's their decision, because if people don't like the music and don't come to the shows, don't stream it, it's no good. It's over anyway. So it could be over any day, but you know, for now, I think that with this record, we have a little bit more life. It's like oxygen packs. You know, we get to stay in the dance a little longer.
Yeah, since we mentioned full concerts and the shows you guys have been doing, you guys came to Brazil only 2 times, in 1997 and 2019, with Stone Temple Pilots, by the way. What memories do you have from these concerts and from Brazil?
I love the energy. I also shot a movie down there. I stayed in I was in Rio for a couple of weeks, and I shot my first movie down there in Brazil. So I spent 4 weeks down there shooting that. But the fact is, I just like the spirit, the freedom, the passion, the energy of the people. You know, that's why traditionally Brazilians talk about the great shows, great audiences. It's very the same in Portugal. Portuguese audiences have a South American flavor. And I think that's beautiful, because people just know how to live. They know how to live, and they know how they want to live, and they live in a free and progressive way. And there's always been a history of rock music there, and I would come more often. It's never the bands, you know. It's always about the promoters taking a chance on the band. Like I say to you, I pledge, of course I want to come to Brazil. I look at my statistics. I think on Instagram, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Rio is like one of my best places for me. So for me, I should be playing there twice a year. Of course I should, you know. But I keep saying, when am I playing? Let's go to South America. So I ask a lot.
Yeah.
Get those promoters. Let's get the promoters, you know.
Yeah, let's call them. Well, still about Brazil, here in our country, you guys are a little too attached to the grunge scene, even though you're from the UK, not from Seattle, but your band was promoted almost like a grunge band here in Brazil. I can even imagine the face of someone who listens to an album like The Art of Survival thinking it's a grunge band. But anyway, what is your opinion on this way of labeling Bush as grunge, especially on countries that, like Brazil, that you guys came only 2 times, for example?
I think it's just, you know, it's sometimes when you try and we all get reduced like a sauce. You know, we're many things as people. We're very varied, but it's like the simplest. Okay, rock band, grunge. I mean, grunge died before we began, in a way. Grunge died with Kurt, you know. So, and I don't think that you know, Come Down it's like it's not remotely a grunge song. You know what I mean? So I don't know. People like labels because it makes their job easier to not have to think about anything. So okay, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything anymore. Sometimes when you say something so much, like I said the word grunge, it stopped meaning anything. And you know, talk about the revivals, the 90s revival, the 2000 revival. It's just everything just keeps turning around like a figure of eight. You know, nothing goes away, yet nothing stays the same. And you know, as long as they're talking about us, I suppose. I mean, I prefer it. You know, I don't want to be just from the 90s. I mean, I think this is a really vital record in 2022. So that's a long time ago. So it's a bit rude in a way. But on the other hand, it's also a privilege that we had so much success in the 90s that we're even remembered whatsoever. You know, there's no guarantee. Who the fuck are you? Why should anyone remember you? You know, so you can't. You know, I think the biggest lesson: don't take anything personally. So for me, I don't take it personally. It just is what it is. And I think that's like this is not a grunge record, for example. It's a heavy rock record. It's nothing to do with grunge. And I don't know when I've made a real grunge record. I'm sure I've had some songs that are more grungy. But I mean, if you don't sing in a sort of a rock and roll kind of a way, like the kind of Sunset Strip sound, you know, those rock and roll bands, if you don't sing that high-pitched voice, maybe that's what you sound like, you know. I've always sounded the same. Whatever you call me, 90s grunge, 222, heavy rock guy now, it's just the same voice, you know, just trying my best. Sing a tune, just, you know, try my best. I try to come to Brazil a lot more than twice, trust me.
Yeah. And for my last question, I just would like to know, you guys have been touring with Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin. What can you say about the guys from both bands and about the tour so far? It's coming to an end, I think on Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday, yeah. It's been a really easy, pleasant kind of tour with the energy backstage. I knew Jerry before. I met Ben. The band, it's an ego-free zone, you know. It's just like everyone's just out there doing their best. Everyone misses their families and their friends, but we have a special bond out there on the road. I think about 120 of us all traveling together, and it's just we're all pulling in the same direction. You know, we just want the audience to have a great time. On this tour alone, it's 350,000 people that we've played to. So we just want to make people happy and escape their lives and sort of lose themselves in music. And both bands have great connection to their fans and with their songs and great catalogs. And so it's good, you know, it's fun. And I think that the bands complement each other. You know, no one pukes up, no one leaves to not watch the other. It's all complementary, so it's all good. You know, very lucky because there's probably too many tours right now, and people don't have the money to go to every tour. So this felt like a bit of security for us, a bit of safety. We weren't taking the responsibility of the tour, to be honest. You know, just adding to the tour, and we're getting 15,000 people coming and watching us. So at 620, so got to be doing something right, you know.